Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. As Eric said, my name is Alan Carter. I'm the president and CEO of a gold company. We have an asset in Brazil that we're working on. I've been working down there a long time. In fact, most of my career has been in South America. I don't have a lot of time, so if there are any questions afterwards, please come and grab me. Obviously, we're out on the other side of the corridor. Okay, so in summary, as I said, we have around about 1 million ounces, 20% of which is indicated and the rest is inferred. We've made several drill discoveries this year. We're currently on our second campaign. Earlier this year, we tested a new zone called Mashishi, and the standout drill result from that campaign was 3.4 meters at 36.9 grams. There's another one similar, not quite as good, but still very good at Mora de Lua. Those two targets need follow-up drilling. Prior to that, we already had, prior to this year, a number of other areas where we have very good drill results outside the 1 million ounce resource. As I said, these are two new discoveries. There's two other areas which I'll show you in a moment where we've drilled 39 meters at 5 grams and 27 meters at 6.9 grams. And last week, we started announcing the drill results from the current campaign. And the best hole that we got of the first 5 holes, and that campaign is ongoing, was 7.6 meters at 18.5 grams. So a lot of high-grade mineralization here, and that is really the focus for this company. We do have a low-grade resource, but there is an awful lot of high-grade, as I'll show you. This project is very large. It's 36,000 hectares. It's district scale. Previously, we've been directly involved as a management team in 5 discoveries in Brazil. And cumulatively, they would total 5 million ounces. One of those is in production. 2 are going into production next year, and the 4th one is fully permitted. Capital structure, very briefly, 61.7 million shares issued, 92.7 fully diluted. This is the team. As Eric said, my background is in South America. I've got a PhD in gold. We've got another guy here, Adrian MacArthur, who has a PhD in gold too. And then just about everybody here on the team has got some experience, considerable experience in Brazil in particular. Word on the share structure. So I mentioned we've got 61 million shares out. We have just under $3 million now in cash. So the enterprise value on that is around about $3.5 million US. And as I said, we have a 1 million ounce resource here. The largest shareholders, well, board and management now control about 24%. That figure's a little bit out of date. I've bought in the last sort of few weeks about 600,000 shares, so I am the largest shareholder. And I think one other thing, you won't be able to read this right at the bottom here, but in the last financing we did in July, it was just over $3 million. I put in $300,000. The financing prior to that, which was just under $2 million, which was last year, I put in $200,000. So I'm certainly putting my money where my mouth is. That's a big chunk of change for me. Also on the shareholder register here, we've got Dundee Goodman with about 12%, a Toronto-based group, a group in Australia called Phoenix with about 5%, Cisco and Royal Bank of Canada. Okay, for those of you who are not too familiar with Brazil, and I do get asked this quite a lot, there are a lot of large companies working in Brazil, mining in Brazil. In fact, Kinross's largest mine is in Brazil. It's over 500,000 ounces a year. Yamana is also very active here. London Mining, which bought one of Yamana's assets earlier this year, is also now very active. They paid $1 billion for this. So if you're wondering if this is a reasonable place to invest, you might just want to go chat with Lucas Lundin. He certainly thinks it is. Leagold, they've got 3 mines in operation here. Ross Beattie's up here with Equinox. He's just put Arizona back into production. And Great Panther Silver also has the Tucano asset here. And there are others. I won't run through them all. We are up in this belt here, which is a pretty special belt. And that map really doesn't do this belt justice, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is the site of the world's largest gold rush in history. So we've all heard of the California Gold Rush of 1848. This gold rush, which started in 1978, was 10 times larger. So I've been obsessed for the last sort of 12 years of my career with this area because there's so much gold come out of it and come out of the streams. There was 20 to 30 million ounces mined here during the gold rush. In fact, it was probably a lot larger. And obviously that gold is all placer gold. It's coming out of the stream. So it's gold that's been eroded from hard rock sources. And as I said, so far we've found 5 of those sources. There are undoubtedly a lot more. Now, this one here, the key asset in this company is called Cuiú. This is where we've got the 1 million ounces. And this place was the site of the largest, it was the largest area of placer workings in the whole belt. It produced approximately 10% of the total. Okay, this map is a fairly complicated map. We've got a major north-south highway coming through here. Our neighbors are Anglo-American, Eldorado Gold. I was directly involved in the discovery of Eldorado's project through here. There are 5 gold projects in here, 2 of which are in production, the largest of which is now owned by Eldorado. And as a team, we've been involved with 3 of those. Anglo-American, Nexa, the big zinc company, is also exploring up here. Nexa and Anglo are mainly exploring for copper. And as I said, this area in the middle, Cuiú, was the largest area of placer gold production during the gold rush days. Okay, this is our project relative to Eldorado's project, which is in blue. About 200,000 ounces came out of their area from the streams during the gold rush days. There was 2 million ounces come out of the area of our area during the gold rush days. So it's got a much larger footprint, and it is it is district scale. Now, let's just go back one. So these 3 slides, beginning with this one, are probably the key slides in this presentation. All these yellow sort of squiggly lines here are streams that were mined extensively during the gold rush. So I'm going to zoom into this area and have a bit of a closer look. Now, what I've done here is that the scale bar here on the bottom left is 3 kilometers, so you're looking at an area about 9 kilometers across. All these areas which I've outlined in white were mined extensively. They're all stream beds. They're all, the small miners back in the day were mining gold from the sand and gravel here. And the streams are draining from up here in the northwest down towards the south. In fact, the drainage comes down through here. Now, so the question was, there's 2 million ounces come out of the streams here. Where is it all coming from? The first deposit we found is in here. It's called Central. Right now it's about 500,000 ounces. We think that's going to grow considerably as we move forward, and I'll explain why in a moment. So a lot of the gold coming down this stream is coming from this deposit. Then we found this one, Morera Gomez. It's 5 kilometers away. It's an east-west trending structure, got a little bit of different orientation. And again, a lot of the gold coming down this stream is obviously being eroded from this deposit. But the bulk of the gold mined here is not coming from either of these 2 deposits. So we think we've found with these 2 deposits probably about the source of 10 or 15% of the gold that was mined in the streams here. Obviously there's a lot of gold, all this gold up in the northwest here, all the gold coming down these 2 streams, all this gold coming from this Miraboa area in the south is not coming from these 2 deposits. Now, we've done a little bit of drilling, not a lot, but a little bit of reconnaissance drilling outside of these 2 areas. You can see some of the drill results. Again, you probably won't be able to read them from there, so I'll read them for you. 500 meters to the southeast here, we've got a drill hole that's running 27 meters at 6.9 grams. Again, it's outside the resource. 39 meters, 3 kilometers away over here, 39 meters at 5.1 grams, 47 meters at 1.8. This is the new discovery we made earlier this year, Mashishi. We're very excited about it. We think it could be at least another 500,000 ounces. 3.4 meters at 36.9 grams, 2.8 meters at 19 grams. They're not all on this map, actually. There's 8 or 9 now, I'm kind of losing count, where we've got economic drill intercepts, and most of them very high grade, outside of these 2 deposits. Now, the host rock here is actually granite. It's very much like the sort of rocks you've got here in Switzerland. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's died. So the rocks that we've got in this part of the world are granitic rocks, and airborne magnetic work is very, very useful in defining these gold deposits. And we've got a fantastic airborne survey, and if this was working, I could show you. It's got lots of great structures on it, with lots of upside here. So I think the key points from my message, and it's kind of a little bit tough given that this died. Key points of this message, I think, for you to take away in this is we have a track record in Brazil. We've been directly involved in 5 discoveries. There's 61 million shares outstanding on this company. The CEO, i.e. me, is the largest shareholder, and so far I think I've invested about 1.4 million of my own money in that. That's a huge chunk of my net worth. We are drilling, so there's lots of news flow coming out on this. As I said, we had some very good results last year. We're surrounded by major companies, and how long have we got left, Eric?
Now, let me tell you that. You've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. This is a mag map. Again, come see me later if you have any time or interest. This is a typical cross section through the deposits we've got. They all have high grade cores, and that's what we're focused on. And they're surrounded by low grade envelopes. The resource is actually on the low grade envelope, and so now we're working very hard to drill off these high grade centers to these things. A lot of native gold here. I've got a nice piece. Unfortunately, it's packed now, but it's in my suitcase. But you know, that's my thumb. So there's a thumb. That's quite common, actually. Again, this talks about these high-grade intercepts that we've got outside the resource. We're currently drilling within one of the known deposits because there are 3 high-grade pods. Now, until this year, there was 180 historic drill holes drilled here between 2008 and 2012. 60 of those have drill intercepts above 10 grams a ton, which is a very high proportion of drill holes with high grades, obviously. And you can see some of these high grades. Again, I won't run through them, but just to pick a few out, 13 meters at 17 grams, 10 meters at 14. There's a narrow section there, half a meter at 154 grams a ton. And as you folks all know, the average grade of the world's gold deposits, all the gold mines around the world, is 1 gram a ton. A meter at 85, etc., etc. And it's the same sort of scenario in the other deposit, which is this one. I've got a better map of that. So this is the first one that we found. This is the central zone. Again, there are 3 zones in here with really, really high grades. In fact, there's 34 drill holes here with plus 10 gram numbers in them. And again, very high grades, 2 meters at 84 grams, 10 meters at 17 grams, half a meter at 52, 4.7 at 23 grams. There's a lot of high grade mineralization. So again, that's what we're focused on. Lots of regional potential. We've just been looking in this area in here. You can see there's a lot of high-grade numbers on surface. The blue dots are the drill holes, so obviously there's a lot of drilling in these 2 deposits. This area up here to the northeast, very, very attractive. Why? Because these streams have a lot of coarse nuggets in them. And here's a picture. This is some of the nuggets that we're getting out. That's a 2.5 ounce nugget. Again, they've been eroded from somewhere. We haven't yet found the source of these nuggets, for example. So you know, there's a lot of work to do in this area. So I think I'll leave it at that, Eric.
Well, Alan, it was a very dynamic presentation. I appreciate it.